On a rain-swept Valentine's Day, the world outside was a blur of gray. But inside the warm embrace of the Daily Grind Cafe, a story was about to unfold. Mia, a painter with a soul as colorful as her canvases, sat by the window. Her sketchbook was open, but the pages remained as blank as she felt. Valentine's Day always had a way of making the city feel a little too big. A little too lonely. Especially for a heart that saw art in everything but could unte seem to paint its own love story. She watched raindrops race down the glass, each one a tiny world of its own, just like the people bustling past, each lost in their own narrative. Just as a sigh escaped her lips, the cafe door chimed, letting in a gust of wind and him. Alex. He carried a guitar case, like it was an extension of his own body. His shoulders slightly hunched against the cold. His eyes, shy and thoughtful, scanned the room, looking for a quiet corner to escape the downpour and the day's overwhelming theme of romance. He found a small table, ordered a black coffee, and settled in, seeming to build a small, invisible fortress around himself. He was the quiet note in a room buzzing with conversation, an island of calm in a sea of Valentine's chatter. Mia watched him, intrigued. There was a story in the way he held his head, in the careful way he unwrapped his scarf. He was a composition of gentle lines and quiet shadows, and her fingers itched to capture it. Then, as if answering an unspoken call, Alex opened his guitar case. He didn't plug it into an amp or seek an audience. He just held the worn acoustic guitar, his fingers finding the strings with a familiar grace. He began to play, not a grand love song, but a soft, intricate melody that seemed to speak of longing, of hope, of quiet contemplation. The music flowed through the cafe, a gentle river of sound that washed over the clatter of cups and the murmur of voices. It was melancholic yet hopeful, a perfect soundtrack to the rainy day. For Mia, it was pure inspiration. The melody filled the empty spaces in her heart and on her page. Her charcoal pencil began to move, a frantic, beautiful dance across the paper. She wasn't just sketching a man with a guitar anymore. She was drawing the music itself. She drew the curve of his shoulders as a gentle crescendo, the concentration on his face as a complex chord, his fingers on the fretboard as a flurry of staccato notes. The world outside the cafe, outside their small, shared bubble of art, simply faded away. There was only the sound of his music and the scratching of her pencil. When Alex played the final, lingering note, it hung in the air for a moment before dissolving into the cafe's ambiance. He looked up, his gaze slowly sweeping the room, and then his eyes met hers. He saw her, truly saw her. Pencil still poised over the page, her expression one of intense focus and emotion. A faint blush crept up Mia's cheeks as she realized she'd been caught staring, but she didn't look away. In that shared glance, a silent conversation passed between them, an acknowledgement, a question, a spark of connection. Hesitantly, Alex stood up. He walked over to her table, his steps quiet but deliberate. "Hi," he said, his voice softer than she'd imagined. "I hope I wasn't disturbing you." Mia just shook her head, a smile blooming on her face. "Not at all," she replied, her voice a little breathless. "You were
inspiring." She turned her sketchbook towards him.
There he was, captured in shades of gray, not just a portrait, but the very soul of his music. Alex looked at the sketch, a look of pure wonder on his face. "Wow," he breathed out. That's how the music feels." They talked for hours, long after the rain had stopped and the afternoon sun had broken through the clouds. They talked about art, about music, about the beautiful melancholy of a rainy day and the unexpected magic of a Valentine that had started so lonely. When they finally left the cafe, they walked out together, stepping into the golden light of the setting sun. The city no longer felt too big, and the air no longer felt empty. For Mia and Alex, it was the end of a song, the completion of a sketch, and the beautiful, promising first page of a brand new story. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to follow for more stories.